Hello and welcome to this Crypto Bootcamp. This is module number 5. And so in this module, we're going to be talking about how to buy and sell cryptocurrency. So to do that, we're going to be using Coinbase. Now, there's a number of different fiat brokers that I talked about in an earlier module, but I think Coinbase is the one that's recommended most often because it's pretty simple to use. They generally have pretty good customer service, and there's a way to use them so that they're feeless. So you're able to convert your fiat dollars, your US dollar, Australian dollar, pound sterling, whatever, into crypto without having to pay any fees to do so. The only downside is that you're gonna have to wait a little bit, but as you'll see, it's well worth it. So this is the Coinbase dashboard. And before we get to this point, there's two steps that you have to go through that unfortunately I can't really help you directly through the class. The first is to sign up an account. And when you're going through this process, they're going to ask you basic KYC or know your customer information. They're going to request information regarding your address and who you are. And they're going to verify your driver's license or ID. Now, I can understand that this might raise some red flags to you, and if you care about privacy, then unfortunately this might be at odds with that. However, what you'll find is that just about every fiat broker out there enforces KYC rules to make sure that they stay legally compliant. So it's not really something that Coinbase itself is requiring, it's something that most modern governments require. Again, this step, it should be easy. Usually they just require photographing your photo ID and your phone number for two-step verification. Now, verification can sound like a hassle, but it keeps the exchange protected from black market transactions, and it makes it a safer space for everyone to buy and sell. Now, one tip I can share with you when setting up Coinbase is that if you're having problems with the ID registration, I highly recommend you download the Coinbase app on your smartphone and use that to take pictures of your ID. I found that that's had much better success with getting an ID approved than trying to manually submit it on the website. Now, while you also have your smartphone out, what I will also recommend you use and download is an authenticator app. So you'll become pretty familiar with these as you get involved with cryptocurrency. An authenticator app essentially allows you to become much more secure in your operations with crypto. Now, the app that most sites and people seem to recommend is Google Authenticator, and that one is good, but what I've found is that it doesn't back up your codes. So if you ever lose your phone or if it ever gets broken and you haven't saved the recovery seeds, then you're kind of SOL in terms of your ability to get back into your accounts. Instead of that, I'd like to recommend an app called Authy, A-U-T-H-Y, because I find that they have a much better user interface. I find that it's much easier to use and set up, and the best part is they use an account system, so you can transfer your account between phones. So long as you know the backup password, you're able to get back into all of your accounts the moment you, let's say you break your phone and you get a new one and download the app just like that. Instead of having to worry about it, I think it's just a much better user interface and user experience. So those are the two steps you need to go through before you get started. First, set up and register an account with Coinbase. The second, download and prepare the Authy Authenticator app. One thing I do want to mention before we go on is that wherever you see someone say use Google Authenticator, you can use Authy as well, because they both have the same built-in security logic. Okay, so with that covered, once you're signed in, once you've set up your account and you're verified, this is what you should see, the Coinbase dashboard. Now, there's really nothing here that we need to know. It's got some good information. It shows you what is currently for sale on Coinbase right now. But if we go to our buy and sell section, this is where we'll see most people buy and sell their cryptocurrency. This is what you'll do when you want to, for example, sell your Bitcoin back into your fiat dollars once you want to cash out. But in the interim, what you want to do is make sure you have a payment method added. So all you need to do is click on here and go down to add new account. And what I'm going to recommend you do is do a bank account. Eventually, if you want to, you can use a debit card or do a wire transfer. It's really up to you. But I recommend you start small. You start with a small position size. And I think the bank account system is the one I've seen people have the least issues with. So for now, I would recommend that. I have seen people have issues with wire transfers, so just be careful with that and only send small amounts if you're going to do a wire transfer. Now, if you wanted to, you could just automatically buy a certain amount of, let's say, Bitcoin or Litecoin or Ethereum here. But as you can see, there is a pretty hefty fee associated with using this instant buy method. And the other thing is that, as you can see here, you aren't able to withdraw that amount for a set number of time. For me, it's 6 days. For you, it might be 8 days. It really depends. They seem to have some sort of built-in logic to make you wait to withdraw your funds, and I'm not really sure what that's based off of. But in general, you're going to be waiting about a week to be able to withdraw your funds. Now, it does say you're able to trade on Coinbase instantly, and what that means is that you're able to, for example, if you bought Bitcoin, you could turn that into Ethereum. But again, you're not able to withdraw it from Coinbase. So there's not really much you can do with that, and it's certainly not worth the fee that you're going to be paying, because as we'll see, you can negate this fee by using the method that I will show you. So instead of using this page, you know, the only reason you'll use this page in the future is to use the sell function. Instead of using this page, what we're going to do is go to accounts instead. And we'll use this deposit function right here to deposit whatever amount we want to into Coinbase. Now, once you do that, you'll get a notification. It will tell you that it'll be ready in a certain number of days. And unfortunately, that's all you can do for today. It's really kind of frustrating that there's not much that you can do immediately. You can't use those funds to buy Bitcoin, for example, without incurring the fee we talked about. Okay, so once we finish the deposit phase, that 7 or 8 day period, we're going to jump over to Coinbase Pro, which is really the interface, the underlying market that you're actually buying from when you buy on Coinbase. And so the trick here is we're going to place a limit order because there is no fees for doing so on this platform. So you can definitely take some time to familiarize yourself with this platform. So essentially we're going to hit deposit here, and we're going to select the US dollar option, or whatever your native currency is. And then we're going to select our Coinbase wallet, where you can see I have some funds that I've deposited. Not all of them have cleared yet, so that's why you see the funds on hold. I'm going to hit max, so all the funds that are currently available for me to deposit. And you can see that they are now deposited into my Coinbase Pro account. You don't need a new account versus your other Coinbase account, so logging into Coinbase Pro shouldn't be any issue. Refresh the page so that your deposit actually shows up. And now we're going to go through the process of placing the limit order. You'll see that it's defaulted to market, so instead we're going to choose limit. You can see there's actually a fee if we place that market order. It is less than placing it on Coinbase, but it's still a fee, so we don't want that. So instead what we're going to do, as you can kind of see, I'm going to go through some of the mistakes people make when they first try to place this limit order. It's not exactly intuitive, but you'll figure it out as you go along. So if you click on the wrong place, it'll put you back into the market order. So instead what we'll do is click on the lowest price that someone is currently selling Bitcoin at, and we'll fill in that as our limit price. Now what we need to do is click on our amount, our deposit amount, and it will automatically figure out that, okay, based on that price, we can place a buy order for 1.36 Bitcoin. But as you'll see, it won't allow us to do this because we've placed the price at the lowest sell order. You can see there. So instead, what we'll have to do is place it at the highest buy order. This will allow us to place the order, and we will get placed into the queue of the current open orders. You can see there that our 1.36 BTC order is placed at the very top of the stack, meaning that we're now waiting to get filled on that position. There's not a large spread for trading on Coinbase Pro, but you might find for smaller coins there is a much larger spread. So it may take some time to get filled on your position. You might find that your order gets knocked down and you might have to replace the order. But by doing it this way, by placing your order as a limit order, you will avoid the fees associated with converting your fiat currency into crypto. So if your intention is just to buy Bitcoin, then you've done it. This is all you need to know in order to buy Bitcoin or buy Ethereum or whatever other assets are listed on Coinbase at the time, because you now hold that asset in your Coinbase wallet. You can transfer it back to your Coinbase wallet from your Coinbase Pro wallet in order to take advantage of their insurance policy, because all crypto assets, so long as you yourself, your account is not hacked, if Coinbase is hacked, then there's insurance in place to make sure that if your funds are stolen in that case, you are protected against loss. There's also insurance for your fiat deposits as well. So that's why I recommend Coinbase, just from a perspective of not wanting to lose your capital, because this space being so new and security breaches being a real threat, insurance and high security is definitely a recommended trait for any exchange you want to deal with. So in the next module, what I'm going to show you how to do is take your Bitcoin or whatever cryptocurrency that you've bought on Coinbase and transfer it to another exchange where we'll be able to buy or really trade for smaller assets. These assets that aren't traded on Coinbase, but probably represent a higher risk-reward ratio. So if you want to get a little bit more risky in your crypto investing, this next module is definitely for you.